Never shall innocent blood be shed, yet the blood of the wicked shall flow like a river. The three shall spread their blackened wings and be the vengeful striking hammer of God. You people have been chosen to reveal our existence to the world. You will witness what happens here today, and you will tell of it later. All eyes to the front. You must watch, dear. It'll all be over soon.
Now you will receive us! We do not ask for your poor, or your hungry. We do not want your tired and sick.
It is your corrupt we claim.
It is your evil that will be sought by us.
With every breath, we shall hunt them down.
Each day, we will spill their blood till it rains down from the skies.
Do not kill, do not rape, do not steal. These are principles which every man of every faith can embrace.
These are not polite suggestions. These are codes of behavior. And those of you that ignore them will pay the dearest cost.
There are varying degrees of evil. We urge you lesser forms of filth, not to push the bounds and cross over into true corruption, into our domain.
But if you do, one day you will look behind you and you will see we three. And on that day, you will reap it.
And we will send you to whatever God you wish.
And shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand. May swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be.
In nomine Patri.
Et Filii, Spiritus Sancti. How far are we going to take this, Star?
The question is not how far. The question is, do you possess the Constitution, the depth of faith to go as far as is needed?
Oh, hello there, gentlemen. It's been a while.
Oh,
Yep, we're back.
How you guys doing this fine evening?
decent weather here. About 30 degrees. That's good.
That sounds
for North
good.
Dakota.
That is pretty good. It's not too cold. I mean, it's not negative 30 or 40.
No.
That's
The
kind of
wind
nice.
isn't blowing 30 miles an hour either.
Oh, 30 miles an hour is not too bad there either. Is it?
30? That's kind of breezy.
Oh, okay.
You Midwesterners have a strange definition of good weather.
Hey, when I was in South Dakota, they said, "Hey, if you don't like the weather, don't worry. It'll change. It'll change in a minute."
It's
I mean, it could be like 80 degrees in the afternoon and snowing at night.
Right.
All right. So before we get going on tonight's thing, I do want to acknowledge that there's a lot going on in the geopolitical space. We're not going to do that tonight. I am working on it. We're not ready for it. There's still a lot of questions to be answered before we can really do a cogent analysis on it. So that'll be coming in the future. But tonight, we're going to kick off the year with honestly a continuation of our prior work on tradcons and feminism and all of that. So
We got a comment already.
well, yes, Tacticus, I saw that. The OF to Christian grift pipeline is definitely part of what we're trying to get at here. But as you all know, we are big into principles and trying to figure out what the core ideas, drivers, motivations are behind what you see being put out in front of you, either TikTok or YouTube or even the legacy media. That's one of the things we like to do here. So this is a new idea. I'm still working on it. We're still working on it. My screen share tonight. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
What was it? Saturday morning or was it Friday morning? I think it was Friday morning.
It's Friday.
All the boomers that I knew were glued to their TVs.
Were they
I know.
cheering?
Hmm?
Were they cheering?
Oh, a lot of them. I was personally more neutral about it, but
I have opinions on it, but that's not for this show.
right.
We're
early.
Yeah, it's
early.
too soon.
We always wait at least a week because facts come out, narratives change, perspective. It's always better after you wait a bit.
Yeah, we are not a YouTube news channel. I actually would liken us more to a think tank. We take. Go ahead. Yeah,
We're nerds.
yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. You hand us a problem and we cogitate on it for a while, and we work with it and we play with it and we wait for new information, and then we'll analyze it and tell you what we think.
But we're not Theo Bro nerds.
No, we're
we
not.
actually want to get crap done.
So we like to talk about how to approach things, things you can do. We did an episode recently on that, didn't we? So anyway, yeah. Tonight I'm introducing what I think is a new word. I haven't seen it used anywhere, but it's the word is Neofeminism. And as we were talking earlier before the stream, Nick asked, well, which wave of feminism is this? And the answer is it's not any wave of feminism. Because if you look at feminism's history, you have the initial, and now we're on what, fourth wave is what, intersectional feminism, I think. Yeah, okay. All of those waves of feminism took the core feminist idea and drove it down one specific path. And that specific path was the complete and total independence of women. This is the I don't need no man version of feminism. Neofeminism is not that, but I guarantee you that once I start describing it, you'll go, oh yeah, I've seen that. And I think the best way to describe neo-feminism as is, well, here, we're going to do things a little differently because this is still an idea being developed. I have handy dandy notepad up here. Hopefully that's big enough for you guys to be able to read.
Yeah.
It is? Okay.
Sure.
I can make it bigger. There we go. Feminism promised women complete equality with men, and it actually delivered it. Like, they actually got it. But the women didn't really realize what that equality actually meant. It meant they had to really work. Most women, I mean, okay, Lily Phillips and the OF crowd aside, most women in the modern day and age have to do some type of job, typically an HR or email job, right? You know, so something that women, that isn't going to break their backs, but they still had to do the work, and it's still a daily grind. And you guys have all seen, I'm sure, the videos of women over the past few months melting down over having to go to a 9-to-5 job.
Sure.
Yeah. There's a few famous ones that stick out in my mind. You know, the girl who was saying, oh, you know, 9-to-5 is horrible. I don't have time for my a life. Like, yeah, we know.
Don't have time to get my nails done or the money. Blah, blah, blah. I have all this college student debt and blah,
Yep.
blah, blah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, there's a problem. Yeah, I get it.
And it's so hard to get up every day and drive 45 minutes to work. But I have to get up an hour early to put on my makeup, and then I'm so exhausted by the end of the day. I don't have time to work out, and I can't cook, so I have to order takeout, and I run out of money, and I still have to pay all my beauty expenses and blah blah blah. Oh, I'm just exhausted, and I can't do it anymore.
And I don't have time to go party with my girlfriends who are all partying. Yeah.
Yep.
So that is, feminism delivered exactly what it promised women that it would deliver: complete equality, including the equality of, we're after 10 minutes. Oh shit, I have to get up and go to work every day. They don't like that. And
Hey,
you guys have seen the crash outs.
I want to make a clarification here.
Go for it.
Okay, you just stated feminism achieved its goal. If that's a male stating that, from a female standpoint, feminism has no definable goal.
True.
It's a process. So whatever things they get, they win. There's always more.
Yes.
And so when will feminism say, we won, we're equal now, let's just forget about this and let's just go on?
They never
no,
can.
that will never ever happen. As long as women are getting power, they will always seek more power. They will always seek more equality, to the point where they become tyrants.
Yeah.
Well, Steve,
They don't really want equality. They want to lord it over the men and live out their feminist revenge fantasies, which the family courts deliver.
Yes. Although I do find it interesting that, at least among the neo-feminists, it's almost gotten to the point where they have so much power that they don't know what to do with it, and they just kind of freak out. Like going to work and making a wage and having money is a form of power. You get to choose who gets that money and who doesn't from you, right? You know, Steve, you were listing off a list of things. Oh, I can't do my nails. I can't, I have to order takeout instead of, right? That's power. That's the power to decide where economic activity occurs. So they were getting more power, and they're sitting here complaining about the power they have.
Another way to look at that, it's the pursuit of privilege.
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to be privileged to have all these things. I should be privileged to have a job. And now I want to be privileged so the job doesn't take up all my time. And, but I still need my privilege to have money. And I still need my privilege to have the 6 foot tall man, six figures. I still want the privilege to have my fun in my 20s. And then the privilege to find a man when I'm ready to settle down, and the privilege to not be judged by my past behavior. It's a quest for greater and greater privilege, which can always change based on how she feels about her life.
Oh, Steve.
Working out so much, but it's not working out that way.
Well, exactly. Steve, is it possible that what she wants in life might be changing a little bit?
It depends on how hot she is.
Do women ever change their mind?
Well,
no,
or change their behavior?
I do have a comment. Usually the hot ones will still land on their feet if they capitalize early enough.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not debating or denying that at all with this. What I'm actually trying
to say something different, Nick. Hot ones will always land on their backs.
Well, they might have to get on their back, and then the guy has to like have the oh shit moment. She's not putting out. She's not working. All she wants is kids and her lifestyle, but she doesn't want me.
Well, Tacticus, yeah, actually, privilege comes with that awful side effect of responsibility. Sure enough. I mean, is what it is, girlies.
Does it?
Well, the answer is actually yes, because otherwise these women wouldn't be screaming into their cameras about how horrible their life is for having to work. That is so modern feminism and really all of feminism up to this relatively in the past few years has been about taking women and turning them into defective men. And, we've talked about that. But what that means is that the women have been taking on more and more male attributes, more and more male thought patterns, right? And so, of course, what is the only way to have complete power over your life? Well, it's to have complete control over your own income and resources and spending habits. And that is what feminism wanted. They wanted women to be completely independent of men. And in that, like if you go back and you read the original feminists, that goal has been achieved. Yes, I understand that the feminists still want more. I'm not saying they don't, but the original goal of
a
feminism
woman is never really satisfied.
So
of
yes,
course they're going to want more.
Yes, but the original stated goal is achieved.
Right, but it's an unnatural goal at the same point, so they can never be satisfied because they're already in an unnatural order, living contrary to nature. So you expect them to say, "Oh well, now we've achieved the same status as men. We're going to be happy." It was disorder from the get-go. They're going to keep being disordered.
Pretty much.
It's like a drug addict saying, "Oh, it's really assuaged me this time. I think I've had enough."
Said no woman
No.
ever.
So women kind of, not all of them. The Karens are still out there, still fighting to push feminism past intersectionality, which I'm not even sure what that looks like. They're still out there, but there's a new growing faction of women. And that's really what I want to talk about tonight. These, and you guys see them on YouTube, TikTok, all over, Facebook even. And these women, they will say things like, well, we don't want to work. We want to be stay-at-home moms. We want the man to be in charge. We want him to lead us, parentheses, how we want to be led. Okay. They say all
familiar.
Yeah. Well, they say all the right things. But note what they don't say. Note what they're quiet on. You never hear these women talking about getting rid of no-fault divorce. You'll never hear these women talk about getting rid of abortion. You'll never hear these women talk about, well, women really should not be allowed in the workforce. You'll never hear them talking about that. They still have, they still want to keep all the options. Oh, they don't talk about getting rid of the Social Security system that transfers money to them when they decide to get divorced. They don't talk about any of that. They're just pushing this idea that they just want a man who will lead them how they want to be led and who will take care of her and her children, usually from more than one baby daddy.
Hey, don't knock it.
I'm going to knock it.
I got some. It's some good news for me. So shut.
In case you guys are wondering why Nick is in a much better mood this year.
No, don't.
I won't say it, but he's in a much better mood this year.
Poor bastard.
Nah.
So
Wish it will.
we're talking about the e-girls here. And when I think about their message, what they're promoting is, oh, here, you need to be this kind of woman. You need to support your man. You need to provide sex. You need to cook. You need to clean. You need to dress nice. You need to stay skinny. And look at me. I'm doing all this stuff. And I got a great man and I got a great life and I don't have to work. So what they're doing is promoting what they can give their husband in order to get the lifestyle they want from him. And in the process, they are trying to gain status over other women and make other women envy them. Then their advice, because women always like to give advice, their advice to the men is, men, you need to provide. You need to be strong. You need to do this. You need to stay fit. You need to lead your wife. And then you can have a woman that's as good as me. So they're basically trying to manipulate men into providing the things that they want a man to provide. And they're trying to sell this to other women that if you do what I'm doing, you too can win the lottery. So it's, when you think about it, it's all a manipulation scheme from the woman's standpoint. And it's never just give to the man because this is what the man needs and this is your duty. No, duty's never mentioned. It's always a thought of giving, and you give in order to receive more than you gave. So
Bingo,
therefore,
Steve.
it's still feminism.
Exactly. I was just going to say that all you have described is a different flavor of feminism. They still get to keep all the powers and privileges that feminism got them. They have no duty to the man. They have the ability, they still retain the ability to walk out the door the moment they decide that they want to, with no repercussions, and they get cash and prizes on the way out. So all of the feminism is still there. Go ahead, Nick.
But hey, they might read their Bible and wear a sunflower dress.
Oh,
Right.
yes. They do that in order to avoid consequences.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, if their past has not been that great, just reinvent yourself, become this kind of woman, act this way, find church, and you know what? You too can find a good man. Therefore, there are no consequences. If you do what I did, you can avoid accountability for your past actions.
Best part is if they go to a place that they have to do this when it's really cold, right? So they have to go to where they can meet people when it's cold wearing long sleeves and leggings or something that covers up their legs and arms where they have all their tattoos.
Church?
Are you, I was just going to say church. Well, okay. We've talked about the Christmas miracle of Nala, and that was 2 years ago. Well, now, as Tacticus has pointed out, we have the Christmas miracle of Lily Phillips. Lily Phillips is literally doing exactly what Nala did. Nala wrote the playbook on this. Lily Phillips is just following it. And next, we're going to hear from Phillips about how she's going to use her platform for promoting the gospel of Jesus Christ. I got to get my Southern Baptist preacher on here.
And
And
the next TPUSA speaker, perhaps?
yes, she probably will be. Despite the fact that two months ago she was thrown out of Indonesia for a record-setting run through men, is how I'm going to phrase that. She still wants all the powers and privileges that feminism gave them, but she doesn't like the consequences. It is no accident that she's choosing to do this now after she got kicked out of Indonesia. Okay. Because neofeminism it's the escape hatch. It's the, oh crap, I've feminized too hard. I don't like the consequences of this. I need something else, but I like all the benefits of it. And I think we're going to see a huge move towards this, especially now that you've got people with name recognition like Nala and Lily moving. You're going to see a lot of used up whores moving this direction.
Of course we will. Women have already exhibited this behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Because in especially religious Christian women, they're the same. They have the same feelings and emotions as all women. But then when they decide they're done with a man, they start disrespecting, develop contempt, and have to get away. They come up with a silver bullet divorce. But they have a special silver bullet. They accuse the husband of doing something with the kids. But then they use the same tactics of, I'm afraid of him. So they get restraining orders and all that to get custody of the kids. And no one ever sees through it. It's successful virtually 100% of the time. And then when they do that, other women see that, hey, that worked for them. Oh, I need to look for some way that my husband might be not such a good man, and then develop a narrative. So the same process repeats over and over, and it actually grows. And it becomes a common behavior. What do you think, Nick? Does that happen?
Yeah. Well, that's something that's common between neo-feminism and feminism, is that they're going to keep everything that feminism brought them, but they don't want to have to work. And so the silver bullet force may help if they don't want to continue to work, or if they just get tired of the neo-feminism and go back to feminism.
Well, neo-feminism is how to be a feminist without being seen as being a feminist.
It's certainly being sold that way.
Hey, how many of these favorite I put a comment in Twitter a few times about, one thing I've noticed about this phenomenon about feminists or neo-feminists, with all they might even be religious, they might even be, contrary to Plutarch, they might actually say they're against abortion. They might even say they're against no fault divorce. But what do you want to bet one of their favorite books of the Bible is Hosea?
It'd almost have to be, given their histories.
And a lot of these Christian women who are vehemently opposed to abortion may have had an abortion in their younger days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're a homosexual preacher, and we've had examples in the past, what do? They speak so vehemently against that abominable sin, but yet they still do it. What a great cover.
Right.
So I mean, you see some of these behaviors in men. You see similar behaviors in women. So it is true. Well, men do that too. Yes, they do. Probably not at the same quantity or percentage. That's the difference. And yes, not all women do it. You're going to find some that don't, but a lot more women exhibit this behavior. There's a higher percentage of women that exhibit this false mask behavior than there is men who do that. But at the same time, I would say everybody does it a little bit.
Steve, I was thinking about this, and I think in practice, more women are neo-feminists than there are actual feminists out there. Because most women understand at some level that you have to give to get.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say that they are all consciously choosing to behave this way. And you could make an argument that, well, what's the point of putting a word on it if this is just standard female behavior? Well, let's not forget that feminism is also a operationalization of standard female behavior.
So are you making a distinction that feminists just want to get? Neo-feminists understand they have to give to get?
Yes, I am. And I know there's lots of men out there who would go, hallelujah, that sounds great.
Don't a lot of feminists give to get and sleep their way to the top?
Yes.
And they give their bodies to get on porn and OF. But I think we're talking
Yeah.
about it's more of this illusion of tradism, of the of the trad
Yes.
family, the trad wife, but
Well,
internally they're not really changed.
right. So
They just
that's what
need a
they're
deal.
selling. That's what they're selling to men. They're selling to men
Right.
that illusion of you're going to get your trad family. But she's not giving up any of the powers and privileges. She still can go to work if she chooses to. She can still divorce you if she chooses to. She can still not have sex with you if she chooses to. She can still
Mhm.
not cook if she chooses to, right?
She can still not obey if it's
Cor-
not the way she wants to be led.
Correct. It's still subverting the natural order. It's still not Christian. It'll be sold as Christians by the Christians, but it's
Oh yeah, I
still
lived this out and I saw it everywhere.
Well, I did too, but nobody had explained it to me. I mean, these discussions weren't going on. I mean,
Oh no, they weren't.
my experience was mine, and everyone else was denying the reality of what I was seeing.
Yep. Well, that's because they don't dare upset the women because they have operating white knights in the churches. They're afraid of the women, and they're simultaneously afraid of the women and want to protect them at all costs.
yes, protect the dragon that's going to burn you alive. Yeah, that's a great idea.
No, they think they're slaying the dragon, which is the men pointed
Oh,
out.
I know what they think they're doing.
Oh man.
So
Okay. Go ahead.
what that's really the core of the idea. Like what the women haven't actually changed anything about who they are, what they're doing. They're still no more Christian than they were when they were banging on camera with a cross necklace around them, or whatever it is that I think Nala did that, or whatever it is they do. It's still performative Christianity. It's still not natural order. So what? And as guys, we are expected to celebrate these women.
Mm-hmm.
See, they're giving you what you asked for. Well, actually not really. They are doing what the trad con church has told them to do in order to get what they want.
Okay, I'm gonna share a screen real quick.
Sure.
So this just popped up. Share screen. I'll go to this. I've mentioned this several times before, but there's a little caveat. I wonder if it's intended in the text or not, but the text is silent, and I'll share it, add to stage. Remember Isaiah 3. Remember? Da, da, da. Daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, making tinkling their feet. Blah, blah. Make the scrab. Therefore, the Lord will smite with the scab, the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. The Lord will discover their secret parts. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, their calls, their round tires like the moon, their chains, the bracelets, the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, the headbands, the tablets, and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses, and the fine linen, the hoods, and the veils. Okay. That's both neo-feminists and feminists, right? They all want this stuff.
Yes,
Grow
yes.
up.
And they're proud. But, there'll be stink, sackcloth burning instead of beauty, shall be desolate and sit on the ground. But it goes later and it says, and in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, after the desolation, this happens. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So I'm wondering, if stuff gets so bad here in the United States and they realize feminism isn't really working for them, they'll say, no, 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 we'll work and we might act. We'll pay for our own clothes. We'll act trad, just and we'll take on your name to take away our reproach. But did they actually internally change?
No, scroll back up. I want to point out a couple things in here next.
Okay.
Up a bit more. Up a bit more. Okay, right there. Verse 17. And the Lord will discover their secret parts. Okay, to me, that means their secret pasts, their secret behaviors, the things they don't want the world to know, and all the stuff they're wearing, their behavior, everything after that is a mask. And it's basically saying the Lord knows your secret. He's going to discover your past. He's going to take away this mask. And then when you scroll down to Isaiah 4, when she no longer has that mask of beauty and proper behavior, and she's beyond reproach, then she is going to beg for a man to take away her reproach, because she doesn't want to suffer the consequences. And so, yeah, she'll do some work now, as long as a man will claim her.
And I'm not saying the women here in this text are repentant or not. It kind of seems like they are. But this is a pattern you see throughout history. Okay, look, women are going to get desperate. I think neo-feminism is a form of desperation, but it's a fake. Things haven't gotten desperate enough that they're willing to throw neo-feminism away. They still want all the things, right? But internally, there's no change.
Well,
so I think
Christians talk about predestination. I think this is pre-desperation. It's what they see. They kind of have a feeling of desperation in the future. Well, if I do this now, I can avoid the greater desperation later. So, I'm not sure that this is conscious.
I would argue that it's not. I would just straight up say that it's not conscious. We all know women operate on feelings, and women, they're on social media. They can see the change. They can also see it, even if you're not on social media. If all you ever did was watch MSNBC, you would see the change. You'd have a different reaction to it, but you'd see it. You talk to we just had a big holiday, lots of family get-togethers. You talk to your family, you're going to hear the winds of change are upon us. And they know that. And women have nothing, if not an overdeveloped survival instinct for the winds of change of society around them. It is literally the only way that they can survive throughout the millennia of human history. So,
but you also got to keep in mind, women have this vast communication network that almost no men tap into. It's called TikTok.
Yep.
And all these women are putting out TikToks, and there is phases Remember those TikToks of a day in the life of Jessica working at Google or whatever, and how
Yes.
wonderful it was. And
Yes.
how, bagels in the morning and the workout room and coffee and lattes and now I have to go to a meeting and no, never was there any work. Well, now there are TikToks of women complaining they lost their job and they can't get another job, and they've applied for 133 jobs or 520 or whatever, and no one gives them a call back, or they've worked for 3 different jobs in the past 2 years and they've been fired from all of them. They can't find another job and they don't know what they're doing. Or I was a nurse and I was making good money, but I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I quit. And you know what? I really don't have a plan, but I know God has some good things in mind for me. So this
Better
whole
capitalize on a man.
this whole thing of whatever is going on in women's world, they talk about on TikTok. And then other women just consume this like there's no tomorrow. Hardly any men go on TikTok and watch these. A few from the manosphere, red pill world, will pick out some of these and do a stream on it, and then we get to watch it. So, okay, yep, this is going on. But women are immersed in this whole data stream that the majority of men will never see.
Oh, absolutely. Women are very well connected. They are very well aware. My argument is that it's a survival trait. Women are
Yeah.
physically weaker, so they have to be able to listen and hear what's going on and see the changes coming, and
The
feel
women
the
want change. The problem is, yeah, they see the changes coming. And what's funny is, even my family, the women are like, yeah, things are bad, but we don't really want to go back that far. I'm like, you don't get it. There's a whole, and I'm talking to a lot of boomers. I'm like, you don't get it. Everything that y'all have done, we hate. And many men my age and younger, or Plutarch's age and younger, the millennials and younger, we absolutely hate the world that the boomers have brought, and we want to bring it to its knees. They're like, oh no, we can't have that. I said, what are you going to do? You can't
It's
stop what's
only
coming.
it's only the men that think that way, Nick. The women your age don't think that way.
Oh, some do. Some do. They don't. They say,
Not
yeah, some of
very
this is
many.
really bad, but they still want to keep all the advantages. They're the
Right.
neofeminists. They want to keep all the powers and privileges that feminism gave them. You but they want to be taken care of, and they still want to have power to opt out, and they
Mhm.
can pretend to be religious too.
Well, the male existence. Men have physical power. Men think ahead generally. They plan for the future. They are more productive in the outside world. They have more options. They're typically more resilient because if they lose their job, I'll go do something else. Doesn't always work, but in general, that's how men do. Men kind of have the physical and overt power. Well, in the law, in order to make women equal to men, we've actually given the balance of power in the law to the women. But throughout history, men had the overt and physical power. So women countered that by having the power of influence and manipulation. And it pretty much balanced out throughout history. It was a balance. Women were not, some women were repressed, a few, But for the most part, women had a lot of influence and manipulation and always have had that. And yes, some women had it really bad, but a lot of men had it really bad too. A lot of children had it really bad. It was a lot of suffering for everybody. So women are going to keep that power of influence and manipulation and even overt power in the law if they can.
Absolutely. And this is how they're going to do it. And I suspect that they're going to do it this way because all the women alive today have only ever known feminism. They've only ever known a world where they've had these powers and privileges. So why wouldn't they keep them? Why would they accept anything where they have to give them up?
Hey, the men have grown up in the same world.
Yes, sir.
And so that's all men know.
Yep.
So most of the Christian men just think this is reality and this is how we have to behave. Or this is how we have to act to survive in this world. There's not that many men like us who say, oh, yeah, this isn't going to work long term because it's not working now. And this is what's really going on. But the young men say they don't understand it as well as we do. But they're basically saying, that sucks. I'm not signing up for that. I'm not going to do it.
Would you?
Basically going on strike, and the women are having a hissy fit about it.
Yeah, sign this piece of paper where you give all your power away to the women and potentially screw your life over. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I think this neo-feminism is a reaction to that. And the women are, for lack of a better word, hoping that this offer will be enough to bring the men back to the table. Yeah, the women aren't giving up anything that matters, but hey, look, you'll get to have that trad wife, tradcon lifestyle for a while. And yeah, maybe later on I'll leave you if you lose your job and can't afford the kids anymore. But for a while you get to have it. And here's the thing.
No,
guys will tell you
never
game of Frogger.
No, women don't think maybe later I'll do that. No, they don't think that.
True.
They think, well, I'm not going to do that. But I need to have that option in case I have to do that. Or I find out that he's really an evil man. Well, then I have to do that. But I wouldn't do that otherwise. Unless it gets so bad that I have to. Well, if it gets bad, then she finds a reason why she has to do it. And she'll construct a narrative to rationalize. Has the red pill world been talking about women's ability to rationalize since its very beginning? Like 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. I'll go with that. They have to retain the option. And that's why you won't hear these women ever saying anything about the duties. You'll never hear them saying anything about giving up the rights of, I hate to use the word rights there, the rights of unilateral abortion and all of that. They don't talk about it. They never. And guys, I have watched hours of content from these women. There's some popular ones. My wife finds them and force feeds them to me because it pisses her off so much. Because
we see them on the chat all the time.
We do. But there's an underlying truth here that these women really haven't changed. Yeah, Luke,
It's a good comment. I put it up there.
it's a good one.
It's true.
Here,
It's true.
I'll read it out. Women don't even need to have it get bad. They just need to get bored, and then they can manufacture lies that the whole system believes without evidence. And then he continues.
I lived that. Steve lived that. Yep.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Neofeminism doesn't change any of that. It just
No.
offers up men. Honestly, what it offers men is what women want, because it offers men the social media friendly, here's a great picture of me with the wife and 2 kids, and see everyone is dressed, and oh, there's the Christmas tree in the background. Women love that shit. They eat it up on Instagram and Facebook and all of the others, right? They love it. And that's what they're offering men. You don't see the shit that's going on behind the scenes of those men getting absolutely walked on by these women. You don't see that. And what she's saying is, see, I will give you this. I will give you this picture that you can put out to your friends, and you say, see, look, my life is great. Never mind that she's been the Sahara Desert for the past, since the last kid came out. Okay, you don't see any of that because it's still not in here. She still doesn't have to do that.
If she gets bored, she's going to be disrespectful. She's going to be unhappy. She's going to develop contempt for the man that is so boring, that she is so damn bored in life. And then she's going to act on behavior. What do women do? They find a reason to get rid of him so they won't be bored anymore. Now, what can prevent that from happening? Because everyone gets bored from time to time. Well, that takes self-discipline. Okay, we're going through a bad patch. I just have to stick it out. And usually, in the past, at least, the people who've been married for 30, 40 years says, yeah, we went through a really bad period. We stayed married and then it got better. Okay, that's common. But now women don't do that because they lack the self-discipline. Now, if you have a well-trained dog, it's got the run of a house and it's just well-trained, listens everything, and you take a steak and you put it on the counter, and you come back a half hour later, is that steak still going to be on the counter?
Probably not.
Oh, gee, what's the nature of the dog? I mean, that was such a well-behaved dog. It wouldn't happen to me. No, I could never believe my dog would do that. Women have a nature too. So just because you have never seen your woman behave in such a way, don't think it's beyond her capability to do that, especially if she has not had to exhibit self-discipline. And that self-discipline comes from basically how she was raised and how her father guided her, provided the boundaries in that discipline in a good way to stop her from doing stupid things and provide consequences when she did stupid things, and to love her anyway. Now, as a man, as a young boy, did I get into trouble? Yes. Did my father discipline me? Yes. Not physically, but, were there consequences? Yes. Am I now grateful for those boundaries and, kind of setting me straight when I needed to? Yes. That doesn't happen now. Not as much so. It may still happen with sons a bit more than daughters, but most women have no growing up with any discipline.
That's true. Hey, Steve, though, I was especially my ex was bored. Can you imagine moving to the biggest town in 80 miles of 3,000 people and the nearest Walmart was an hour and a half away?
Yes, I can, because I've delivered to South Dakota. In
Oh
one
yeah, I
county,
loved it.
there's a grocery store in a town that has like 700 people, and there's a grocery store there. Why the hell would a town that small have a grocery store? Oh, they're the biggest town in the county. It might be a bit boring there.
Yeah. But hey, you know, sometimes wore the dress, went to church. But hey, all those pastors' wives and so-called Christian women. Oh, he's a bad man. You don't have to. You don't have to put up for your husband. No, he's all this crazy stuff. And oh, he's under fire in the denomination for standing up for the truth. Man, you need to get away from that man. And she's bored and she misses all the drama and crap and all her support back home. She doesn't have to follow her husband, does she? Nah, we'll make up crap. Oh, I don't want to be the trad wife anymore. I don't want to follow my husband. No, I'm out. I'm going to take the kids, put them through the ringer. Silver bullet divorce. Here we go. What I'm saying is neo-feminism is just feminism, really, masquerading as this trad crap with the idea that they still get to keep all their power and privileges that feminism gave.
It is. It is still feminism underneath. It's just feminism in a different direction than the insane leftist fourth, fifth, sixth, nth wave feminism. It is women. Go ahead.
Exactly, but a lot of them make a return to feminism, or they'll try the whole
Yes.
what's it call it, bait and switch again on the next
Is
smug.
it? Do they make a return to hardcore feminism, or is it more they're just exercising the privileges of feminism to get what they want in both cases? Because most of the neo-feminists I listen, they don't really go back to hardcore feminism.
Some
They just
deconstruct,
yeah,
some don't, I guess, so much.
yeah.
But
So
never really had a rational thought behind their religion, anyways. Just convenient.
true.
So some of the Christian men who oppose red pill will be saying, well, yeah, it can happen, but your chances are actually better with a Christian woman and a traditional life who stays at home. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, because it works until it doesn't work. And there's a greater incentive for Christian women to make nasty allegations.
Oh man.
And they can behave worse than secular women because there's more shame and guilt involved. And they want to avoid that and throw all the shame and guilt and fault on the husband. Whereas a secular woman, really, who cares? So, is it worse? Well, who's at the biggest risk of having a contentious divorce? Dr. Edgington. What did he say? The most contentious divorces come from what kind of woman?
Stay-at-home
Christian moms.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you're not guaranteed. It's not a guarantee that she's going to do this to you. But I'd also suggest just because she's a trad wife does not reduce your chances of this happening. And I think if it does happen, your chances of a contentious divorce and losing the ability to see your children is actually higher. Christian women, in some ways, are a higher risk than a secular woman. That's the uncomfortable conclusion that I've come to.
Well, but Steve, what you're really saying here is that feminism is almost more important to the Christian women because they rely, in order to get out of their marriages that they don't like anymore, they have to leverage even more of the powers and privileges that because they have fewer they have fewer ways to exist on their own separately. So to me, it's no surprise that we see neo-feminism be something that is very, very popular amongst ostensibly Christian women. They have to give that view, right, that they are trad, right? They have to present trad, but they rely even more on the powers and privileges than your average workaday feminist does. Would you, is that what you're saying, kind of?
In action, yes, they do rely more on it. They don't think about that. They don't want to give up the option in case they need it. Like it's like that red fire alarm pull box on the wall. If that's feminism, hey honey, we don't need feminism. Let's take that out of our house. No, I feel more comfortable having that red pull box there on the wall, just in case I need it. Well, we both love Jesus. Jesus doesn't want us to die, so we won't have a fire. No, I think I want to keep that red pull box on the wall, just in case I need it. I know I'm not going to need it, but, I feel more comfortable having it there.
I feel comfortable having it there.
The red pull box is there, whether she agrees that it's not there or not. It's still there.
That's true. And that is an enabling tool of feminism, of both stripes. The fact that the system has codified that she has those rights and privileges, those powers and privileges to do it anytime, regardless of whether or not she thinks she's going to exercise them in the future. Right? Yeah, Steve, you're right. They don't think about it, but that option is always there. And that's why you don't see the neo-feminists saying, oh yeah, we've got to get rid of, the divorce laws. We got to repeal the 19th, whatever the thing is.
That's because, women are not evil geniuses. Women do not think strategically. They don't say, a few women might, but for the most part, the majority of women are not thinking, well, I'll marry him today, I'll get rid of him in the future and fleece him and take cash and prizes. They're not thinking that way. They just want the options. Therefore, they're also not thinking that, hey, these options that women are exercising, other women are exercising, are destroying our society. They will destroy our civilization. Our birth rate is going down the toilet, and it's all because of feminism. Therefore, we have to abolish and roll back the laws of feminism, or that feminism enacted, and we have to actually restrict the opportunities that women have in order to save the world. That's strategic. That's long-term thinking. That kind of thinking just doesn't happen with women. In general. Okay, they're 1% maybe, but at the most 1%. 99% of the women do not think that way, cannot think that way. And I'll also say 90 to 95% of men do not and cannot think that way.
Yeah, it's true. Although the men don't necessarily all need to think that way independently, because and we can see this in the data about what's moving through the culture. The men will look at what the men can look at what another man's going through and say, I'm not going to make that mistake. Right. In fact, in our chat right now, for those of you just listening along, there's a conversation going on where men are basically saying, oh yeah, I see that. I'm not going to do that. Men can do that. Women have not developed that skill as much. I'm not saying they can't, but they're just not as good at it. Right. So for men, what you see is even if the men aren't thinking about it, the men are seeing all these other men getting destroyed. They are seeing other men around them going, nah, you don't want to get married. You don't need to get married because they'll offer it up for free anyway. So why bother taking all that risk? And the men are just collectively going, meh, we're out. We're not going to do this. So yes, not very many men, maybe it is only 5% of men are going to sit down and do the thinking to get it and understand it. And I would agree with that. But all the other men watching are going, huh, yeah, there's something there. I'm not going to do that.
I'm back.
Yeah, I just got a suspicious activity thing floating in front of me. How about this stream?
It's Nick's having uploading issues.
Oh, well, there was something else going on my end.
Okay.
I mean, guys, we don't need to run long tonight. We don't have to do a 3-hour stream on this. I have gotten my point across. Luke, yes. Neofeminism, it's kind of covert feminism, but it's feminism with a different goal in mind. And so to my mind, that this represents a new strain of feminism. This is a new, we're not working the old feminism of independence uber alles. We're working sort of we'll give up a little bit of independence. We'll go stay with a man for a while because we don't like what we see coming down the world, and but we still want to keep all the options that feminism gives us. But all this working is really tough stuff, and so that's covert feminism is a little different than that. Go ahead, Steve.
I got a question for you. In our group chat, Elena, Plutarch's wife, is putting things in there, and she pays attention to what the women are saying, and some of it just triggers her.
Yeah.
And she gets so frustrated, and she wants to just give them a piece of her mind and correct them. And we say, I really won't do any good. But this whole idea of neo-feminism and the behavior of the trad wives to entice men irritates her. So will the trad wife or neo-feminism, will it be successful?
Yeah, it will. It will work. There will be men who go for the deal. Absolutely. 110%.
That's what I said. For the most part, it will be successful. You see this right now. The e-girls, how many simps do they have following them?
Oh, God.
How many? Man, oh, you're beautiful. I like what you're saying. I would make you my wife.
You need a cowboy hat to say that.
So the women who come into the church and dress trad and bake cookies and, they're out for the coffee and donuts after the service.
Right.
They're there and they're trad and they're smiling and yeah, can they find a man? Probably.
Hey, they'll show their cookies for a while.
Right. I mean, they'll get what they want out of the deal. It's
For a
going to
while.
work. The vast majority of men will actually fall for it. It will work.
I don't think it's
Now,
going to be
there's a
enough.
growing number of men who are not having any part of it. It's usually
Right.
the smarter men or the men who are exposed to a little bit of red pill. And why are they smarter? Because they're willing to test the assumptions that has been ingrained into them. This is what you should believe. It takes a above average intelligent person to say, I know that's what I've been told, but is this true? That's not all men can do that. That's why it's going to be successful. The neo-feminism will mostly be successful for women who adopt this strategy.
It will. One of the things I had to tell Elena, she was spurting out over this recently, is that we here in the Red Pill, this channel specifically, other channels, we all recognize that we are not going to save all men. We all recognize that we are not going to save most men. We all recognize we're not going to save any more than very few men. But every man that we do save from this is one less man for these neo-feminists to lock down and turn into a plow horse. And every man we save from this is one more man down her preference stack that she has to go to find what she's looking for. We're not going to make this stop, but we can make this such that the women get less of what they want. There was, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but there was a famous porn star and she got married and now she's popping out kids. But when you look at the guy she had to marry, she didn't get a particularly high value man. He's some workaday dude. She's got a small life, right? It's not, you know, for who she was on the internet, you know, she really didn't get much out of it. That's what I'm looking for out of this. When we bring this stuff up, we are trying to take the good men, the high value men, and protect them from women. The men who can understand this stuff, the ones who are going to have strong futures in a more chaotic world. We'll talk about the chaos of the world in a future stream. Those are the men that women are going to want. And the fewer of those there are available, the more consequences these women will have to suffer for their behavior, even if they do eventually get a man. He will not be the man that she was really hoping to get. And that's all we can that's all we can hope for here.
We're doing something else. We're just a small channel. 3 men who are saying things. Other men are saying similar things on the internet and elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Just all this choir or chorus of voices is moving the Overton window. And then once the Overton window moves, people say, oh, there are other ways to look at this. Oh, it is permissible for me to think things that were out of bounds previously. So it's a marginal shift that a lot of men feel. Now we, by us being part of moving that Overton window, we're probably affecting a generation of men, potentially millions of men, not us directly, just a small part in doing that. And saying, hey, it's okay to ask these questions. It's okay to think these thoughts. It's okay to do this evaluation of risk benefit. It's okay to think, well, just because she's Christian doesn't mean that I have a guarantee.
It's actually a critically important message that men need to hear, and it is a Greek tragedy that 3 Christian men have to stand up and say, men, don't bother with these Christian women. They ain't worth it. They're just as likely, if not more likely, to destroy you in the future. But as Tactica
Sad
says,
message, but it's not. What did Tactica say?
oh, he said the church needs new members. E-tithe
Yeah.
girls needed. You know, it's
Right. It's a sad, like, we're not peddlers of hopes and dreams, right? We give you the reality, like, and it's a sad reality. I wish it wasn't the case, but it is the case.
yeah. Do we want to be telling men this? Of course not. We would love to be able to tell men to go to church and they are going to find good, strong, conservative Christians in men, and they're going to find good, submissive Christian wives, and everything will be, yeah, shit, I can't say that with a straight face.
And they're still in the system and they're operating by the system rules, whether they acknowledge them or not. The
Absolutely.
system is designed to destroy good, patriarchal Christian men.
Hey, Nick, what is this?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of a system?
What it does.
Thank you. And what the system does
Feminist
is
revenge revenge fantasy system is working quite just well.
exactly. But the purpose of the modern Christian system is to turn men into chattel slaves for women.
Yep.
Okay. Does having female preachers, pastors, or in the Catholic Church, female lectors who are reading the Bible, female extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion, the women, the people who go up and assist the priest during the Eucharist, distributing that, women entering the sanctuary, doing the jobs that formerly only men did. Does that blur the distinction in roles between men and women?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
When women are up there doing things that were formerly only done by men, yes, it blurs that distinction. What's the purpose of having them up there?
make the women happy.
To
Gender
blur the
blending.
distinction.
Oh,
That's what it's doing. That's why they're there. And that's why we are all, it's this new gospel. We are all one in Christ. There's neither Gentile nor Jew, Greek nor.
Mr. Dugan's got my language going here. Let's get my favorite word. Describe all this.
It's to blur this distinction. There's neither male nor female in Christ. So women can do everything that men can do. Well, if you give that message to women in the church, they're going to take that message to the world and into the marriage, and all of a sudden there is no distinction in roles anymore. She's just as much can decide what happens as much as he can. So now you just destroyed hierarchy.
And this neo-feminism It gives a subtle hierarchy, but it's really egalitarianism still. They might even call it patriarchy. They might even clothe it in the term patriarchy or complementarian. But neo-feminism, which many of these so-called church ladies are, they still deny the hierarchy. They might
Well, they
dress
may
up in
even
that
pay
garb
lip
on Sunday.
service to the hierarchy, but it's faux hierarchical,
Right.
faux patriarchal. Faux,
And will
as
any
in
of them ever go under church
FAUX.
discipline? Hey, will they ever put any of these women under church discipline for their abominations? No. You're a bad man. These women are angels.
You can't, Nick, because the men are not in charge. Because they shared the leadership with the women. Therefore, once the leadership is shared with women, you cannot admonish or discipline or take any action against a woman for acting in a leadership type way.
Ugh.
I am rapidly becoming of the opinion. Well, that's a. No, I am of the opinion, have been for a long time, that there really are only two modes. You could call it the feminist mode, but really you just have the abomination mode and you have the Christian mode. And
Chaos
for
or order.
yeah, order versus disorder, right? And there really is nothing in between. You can call what these women are doing more Christian, right? You can, and it certainly has more pro forma look to it of Christianity, but it's still feminism, so it's still abomination. Goodbye, right? It's like women are either submissive to the hierarchy, including their husbands, or they aren't. Yeah, the neo-feminists have more of a look of Christianity, but it's still all the same bullshit underneath. Same abomination bullshit underneath. So it's just that's just the way it is.
If you live according to the hierarchy or according to the natural law or the patriarchal order or the order of creation or any of that, okay, you're saying that's the good way. What is the other way? What's that called? Rebellion.
Rebellion, yeah.
Non-servium. There, beat you to it, Steve.
What's that?
Non-servium.
Yes. I will not serve. And that's for those of you who don't know the context. That is what Lucifer said to Christ when he decided to rebel. I will not serve. By saying that, he went into rebellion. And look what happened after that.
Exactly my point. And so, as Christians, we have to accept that the neo-feminists are going to be more successful at getting men than the outright feminists. Okay. But that does not mean that we have to condone it or celebrate it, as I see many Christians doing. Because these Christians they're no different than the GDP line go up economist people. All they see is, but we're getting more marriages and more kids. Congratulations, you have now just destroyed more children's lives in the future, because what did we say earlier about stay-at-home Christian moms? Oh yeah, they are literally the most vicious, vile creatures on the way out of the relationship, and they are the most likely to use the kids. So
The other people who say that Rich Cooper. He said that. And there are various divorce attorneys
Mm-hmm.
back that up. I think James Sexton will say that too.
Yes.
But other divorce attorneys have said that. I'm not just taking it from Dr. David Edgington, or not just from our observations. No, it's out there. And if you listen for other people, you might be able to get some evidence that, yeah, it's true. Because remember, even Christian women have free will.
Mm-hmm.
Free will is the ability to say, I will not serve, and to go into rebellion. That's what free will is. So there are no guarantees with any woman, because every woman has free will. Every man does too.
Absolutely. Oh, Luke, this is a good one. Yeah, we just have to keep pointing it out that they are still feminists and still laying traps for men. They're clever or trap. What, Nick?
That's a trap.
Yeah, exactly. We need the
Take
meme.
evasive action.
Yeah, because it's a better camouflage trap. It is going to ensnare more men. It is going to destroy more children. And so that's part of the reason I wanted to bring it up, is because we have so many people out here say, but see, these women, they go to church, they dress conservatively, they take care of their kids. And I'm not saying these are bad things, but they still retain the option to destroy their families on a moment's notice for any reason.
So I have another analogy for those that say, well, we just have to back it up about 2 or 3 steps or 12 steps. Just go back to the way it was in the 70s or the 50s or whatever. Then we'll be fine, because we'll have kids and we'll, neighborhoods, and people will be going back to church. We just need to roll back the clock a little bit. No, the seeds of the problem were there. Now, for those
You
of
can't
you
shut
who have,
Pandora's box only a little.
for those of you who have a lawn that's ever been infested with creeping Charlie,
Oh yeah.
and it's taken over half your lawn, and the roots are going everywhere, and you go out there and you say, damn, this is bad. I got to take care of that. If you eradicate 90% of the creeping Charlie and say, wow, this is looking so great. I got that little area over there, but you know what? This is great. And you just enjoy your nice lawn. What's going to happen, Nick?
They'll come back.
And if you get it out of your lawn completely, but you got that fence between your lawn and the neighbor's lawn,
The wind still might blow. The wind still blows.
Or do you still need to maintain your vigilance?
You have to maintain your vigilance. Yeah.
So no, we can't just roll back the clock.
Well, in the Dakotas, you have that high wind, so everything's blowing around anyways. They'll come back.
It's not the wind that makes creeping Charlie go. It's
I
the
thought
burrowing under the roots. It's hidden.
Well, I thought they had seeds, and the wind could spread the. Oh, I could be wrong.
No, it creeps. It sends out runners underneath and between the grass blades. That's how it's nasty. I don't know if maybe this dandelions come by wind. Takes effort to keep your lawn looking good. Takes effort to keep your marriage looking good. You have to be vigilant to detect this, the feminist influence, and take corrective measures. Otherwise, it will infest your life too.
It is possible, guys.
The best
But
way to not have creeping Charlie or dandelions in your yard is not buy a house or have a yard.
it's to not have the yard. I agree. As somebody who has to take care of a yard, and oh my goodness, I've got a huge moss problem. But you know, and here's the thing: you can do it. It's a lot of work, and particularly in this modern era of the feminist nuclear option is encoded into law. You can do everything right, and that creeping Charlie still comes back. Okay. The idea that you're going to do everything right and it's all going to be okay, set it down. It's a false promise 100% of the time. Now, I'm not saying that marriages can't make it to the finish line, i.e., you both die married. Like I'm not saying that can't happen.
Somebody completed the game of Frogger. Congrats.
Right. Yes. Be happy for them. They got there. They made it. But they
Semi
made
didn't
it.
run them over. They didn't drown in the water by missing the log.
Yeah. Well, we have to remember that they made it in spite of all the options. They made it because maybe the woman had some self-discipline and was tempted but said no. That does happen. Okay? There are women out there like that. They all tend to be married young, stayed married because they're disciplined, right? They had self-discipline. So they stayed married even when things weren't great, as Steve was saying earlier. That requires that self-discipline. Okay. So, if you're a 35-year-old dude and you're out here going, where do women at? Or why is the only thing available to me this trash? Yeah, well, because there are so few good ones.
Welcome to reality of
Yeah.
this cesspool dystopia that we are living in.
So, which is more dangerous? Feminism or neo-feminism?
How are we defining dangerous, Steve?
Oh, okay. Which is more dangerous to a individual man?
Neo-feminism.
Yeah.
Which is more dangerous to society?
Plus, I can't.
Yeah,
because neo-feminism depends on feminism.
Right.
Feminism is more dangerous to society because it pushes for the laws to change, which changes reality. Neo-feminism is more dangerous to the individual man because he can see danger in the feminist and say, I'm not doing that. But his guard is down for the neo-feminism.
Yeah.
The Trojan horse.
Yeah, the feminists are far better coordinated when it comes to pushing laws. Like that's just the truth. The neo-feminist is, well, no, not really. Neo-feminists, they use it, but they don't push for it.
No, men will still be pushed. No, even men will push for laws to protect women because they think women are this fragile. Like even men still operate, oh, we got to protect the women no matter what because they're fragile. Yet, oh, they're still all equal to us. But no, we still have to protect the women because that's what men do. So you'll still even have like the tradcon men and like Republicans, Democrats. They still unite in passing these atrocious laws would actually erode families and actually put women on a better legal status than men in a courtroom or in a potential arrest.
They always will. Takes higher order thinking to consider the implications and the unintended consequences of the laws you passed with the best intentions. You got to be a deeper thinker than most people can do.
I mean, but that's true of everything. I was reading somewhere, somebody pointed out that all of human advancement was created, effected by the top 1% of humanity. When you actually look at the history of all of it, all of civilization, all of science, all of religion, all of it. It was all done by the top 1%. This is not to say that everyone below the top 1% is useless. In fact, they're very useful. They're very necessary for enforcing and maintaining the systems. The top 1% can design it, but they can't build it and maintain it. So it's that kind of thinking here too. When we say this stuff, like we're talking about today, we're not just saying it for other men who are of equal intelligence to us and who can think through it. We're saying, look, guys, all of you, here is a thing. You just need to be aware of this. You don't have to figure it all out from first principles yourself. Just recognize what this is and do with it what you will.
All right.
Well, I think we've beaten this idea to death. This was actually kind of my goal, is for a little shorter, a little more coherent, cohesive, not too rambling. We didn't ramble too much tonight, which is kind of unusual for us. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just reading through some comments here. Luke, yeah, the most dangerous thing to someone is a danger you don't see. And that's why we're bringing this up. This is a danger that men aren't talking about, as there's not a whole lot of talk about it. There's not a whole lot of awareness around it. That's why I
talk about it.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to bring this up, because I think it is more dangerous to individual men, because the men so desperately want what these women are offering. Shoo, yeah, I hear you. It's I mean, what are you going to do? Blue pill tradcons are everywhere. We have to deal with them. And Luke, again, yeah, this is exactly what I was trying to say. Advancement wouldn't happen if the stability of the 99% didn't provide for it. Absolutely. They are necessary, but they do not advance things. It's not their purpose. And that's fine. It's fine to say my purpose is not women. It's fine to say my purpose is not children even. You can say, no, my purpose, as we do on this channel, our purpose is to prevent as many men as we can from falling into these traps. Our job is to look ahead, see what's coming, see the changes happening on the big picture scale, explain them for you guys, and then you can say, and here's the trap, don't fall into it. So that's what I have for this evening. We're only an hour and 45 minutes in. Steve,
In general,
in
general, you can pretty much count on a woman to act according to female nature. What is female nature? That's the thing you have to spend some time contemplating. What is female nature?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys do have to learn that. Us men out here can't do all the legwork for you. Nick, do you have anything?
Oh man. So neo-feminists are feminists in a more trad garb.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're working to achieve a different thing. However, yes, I think the result will still be to the continued destruction of the building block of society, which is the family. Do not bite. Stay away.
Absolutely, and amen. Well, that's all we have for you guys this evening. Yes, Saturday. Have no idea what Saturday is. We did no planning while we were on break whatsoever, guys. This topic was decided about 5 hours before the start of the stream. And but if you like what you heard, please share this video. I think this is an idea that men need to hear. And that means more than anything else to us. Yes, the likes and subscribes are nice. It tells us that there's people out there listening. But share this video. That I think is where the true value is. So we'll be back next week. Again, we have no idea what the topic is. We'll probably discuss afterwards. And Saturday, Lena's she has no idea what she's going to be doing, although it will probably be an extension of this topic, given how riled up she is about this. So,
Yeah.
Just to put that out there, like it's not official, but let's be honest here. She is who she is. So, and then, yeah, we will see you all on either Saturday or next Wednesday. Later, fellas.
There was a fight!